What's the one thing that you're like, I'm super proud of what I did at Netflix?
Yeah, I think I briefly touched on it, but I think my work around the detecting credential compromise of VC2 and coming up with a, yeah, I still say it's not machine learning, but I was corrected by someone once that it theoretically technically is. But just learning the IP addresses you expect from the instance itself, being able to detect credentials walking from instance to instance, even in your own environment, was super cool because that kind of bootstrapped and started putting a lot of pressure on guard duty to be able to do that. I think it was like 3 years after I published that they did it, but now everyone gets to take advantage of it, which was super cool. Uh, but also, I think the instance metadata work was some of the most challenging stuff that got me experience in a whole bunch of areas. I remember working with eBPF tooling to try to understand which processes were actually calling the instance metadata system without the headers that I wanted, so I could track down software owners and get them to update their things, and really trying to figure out how do you stage this out and in a way where, if we did put an instance metadata proxy in place on all of our VM infrastructure at Netflix, it becomes the P0 system that must be running. And if it stops working, all our services stop getting credentials and Netflix goes down. And so I credit that time to actually learning about systems engineering, distributed systems, testing, reliability, and a lot of my infrastructure chops came from that period. But I think that's where a lot of the most interesting work, and I think what got my foot in the door at Capital One when I was looking to move back to Texas was that work, and Houston Hopkins being a champion for me there, and then spending a lot of the time during my brief 6 months at Capital One was spent on implementing some of the same things that I had done at Netflix to try to build a stronger set of infrastructure there. But I'll be forever grateful for those projects as well as collaborating with the rest of the team on some of the cool stuff. Seeing just the team be successful with Travis and his Repo Kid launch, a lot of the awesome talks that the team was able to give at reInvent in various different areas. Even when I left Netflix and joined Hashi, or I guess left Capital One and joined Hashi, I had submitted a talk with Travis to reInvent, and I think it was like week 3 at Hashi. I was at reInvent presenting on stage with Travis, like Netflix slash Hashi Corp, on some of the work that we did during our time there on just a CloudTrail anomaly detection, which I think leads into a bunch of the work that you and I have done through the Permisa phase of talking about different techniques and things
Yeah.
that I care about when it comes to identity detection in cloud.